we will be finalizing the scheduled interviews for both the entities that are before us in a short space of time. You should be assured on that in terms of our support in relation to that. To the honorable members of the committee, as I welcome you, I request once again that you must come with the full strength, energy, spare no strength, no energy to deal with the work that represent the work of the people of the Republic. I have confidence and I have no doubt that you are geared up for this task as we start the year. We are today going to receive formally the presentation about the statistics of the plans that we received before we closed last year. You'd remember before we closed, the Honorable the Minister and the team of RTMC and the department they came before us and tabled before us their plans for the festive uh, on how we're going to reduce the accidents on our roads. Indeed, they, together with the entire team, which
your signal is very poor and we can't hear you. Is it possible to move to a space where we can get a better reception?
Val, is the chair still here?
Mr. Blosse, you seem to have lost communication. I'll try and get him back in the next minute.
Well, we can take over. We don't mind. We are capable and ready.
But you lost connection and where you were when you were. Okay, you are back online. Talking we couldn't hear you properly as well.
I'm in the meeting. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, Chair.
I think there's a problem with the chairperson's connection. I can't hear him at all.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Valerie, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please continue.
No, thanks very much, colleagues. Sorry for the connectivity. I don't know what's happening, and I think it's not the network, it's the gadget. Honorable Minister, I was still welcoming you and then the team, and I was still explaining that we kindly extend to us our appreciation to the team of our uniform women, men and women in uniform for the great work that they've done this festive. We echo your sentiments, Honorable Minister, that albeit the fact that we have reduced the accidents by 5%, we still worry that the one life lost is way too many, and we're looking forward to hear from you on the plans moving forward. And without wasting time, Honorable Minister, I'm going to allow you to take us through the presentation together with the team.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and allow me to greet all members of the committee and also to take this opportunity to wish members of the committee everything of the best for 2026. Chair, I am joined in this meeting by the chairperson of RTMC, Ms. Mafumadi, also the acting CEO, Mr. Malloy, as well as Mr. Prasanth Mohan, who is the acting DDG of roads in the department. Chair, as you correctly indicate, we did present to the committee our plan for road safety prior to the festive season. And today is a report back on what we achieved and what we didn't achieve in terms of the plan that we put before you. You will see from the plan that there was a slight decrease in the road accident death rate and also crashes for the 25-26 festive season. But you will also see that the death toll is far, far too high. And as you correctly say, one life lost is one life too many. I think that we still continue to have uneven enforcement. You would understand that traffic enforcement is a competency that covers municipalities, provinces, and national government. And we are trying to work together with different aspects of subnational government so that we take common and equal responsibility for road safety. I think that our achievements in that regard are still uneven. And I think this year we did have better coordination by the MECs of local government. And we, of course, had our meetings twice a week throughout the festive season with the MECs and the provincial departments. And I think that it's that coordination of enforcement activities and that focus on what we call evidence-led enforcement. So we know that, as you will see from the presentation, pedestrians continue to account for a disproportionate number of road deaths. We know that driver behavior continues to account for a disproportionate number of road deaths. And so it's very important that we focus on the evidence before us as we engage in our enforcement operations. I'm going to hand over to the team, and obviously honourable members will then have a chance to interrogate the presentation and also to give us their own wisdom as to what else they think we should be doing to solve this very serious problem. Thank you. Ms. Mafumadi, let me hand over to your team.
Thank you very much. Compliments of the new season. Minister, Deputy Minister, Chair of Portfolio Committee on Transport, members of the Portfolio Committee. As the Minister has indicated, we have seen 5% decline in road crashes and fatalities. As the details will be presented today, you will see for yourself. Although we applaud the decline, the lives we have lost over the festive season are too many. Of note is an instance where an entire family was wiped off in a crash. As you will see when they present, human behavior remains the biggest challenge on our roads. On that note, Minister and the Chairperson, I will request the Acting Chief Executive Officer of the RTMC, Mr. Matzimela Moloi, and his team to share the details with the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair, Honorable Minister, Chairperson of the Board, and the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee. We appreciate the opportunity to give this report. Without wasting too much time, we are going to request GM Ajuma to lead us in the presentation. Thank you.
Good morning,
Ms. Juma and Acting CEO, there's some noise from your side. I'm not sure whether you connected more than one gadget, so it's difficult to hear.
Yeah, it's doing echo. It's echoing back. We can hear. I think it's two gadgets. They must just get off on the other gadget if it's possible. Ms. Juma, I can't hear unless colleagues are able to hear you. RTMC Chair, can you hear your team?
Chairperson, let me try call them. I don't know what's happening. I'll call them quickly if you don't mind.
Okay, no problem.
We've changed the connection. Does it sound better now?
Yeah, we can hear you well now.
Okay, thank you very much. I shall then commence again. As I was saying, that the presentation it covers first the part where in the methodology that we adopted for the festive season. And then it will also look at issue in terms of our performance statistically. We've also included the performance in terms of our law enforcement as well, and road safety, education, and communication. And then we'll cover the key points, takeaways after our performance this festive season. I will not speak a lot in terms of the approach, because we did share with the members the approach that we're adopting. But we must say that as per what we had said, we did implement the plan, and that the issues that we have characterized our festive season remain the same, from the issue of movement of people, holiday makers, the routes that were identified as our critical routes. We made sure there's deployment within those routes to minimize the number of crashes, and the issue of inclement weather. The inclement weather, we experienced one of the highest rainfall during this period, and that in itself also did impact our operations of our law enforcement. The deployment methodology, as indicated, was that we had phase one, which is our post, which we did as pre, in order to gear ourselves for the festive season. And our emphasis was on point of origin and inspection of bus depots, as well as awareness activations. We then commenced our full December deployment, including the full deployment of our NTP from the 12th of December, which then resulted in the end of our festive season period by the 15th of January, wherein the deployment was on critical routes, and that we also looked at high build-up areas. Once the people had moved out of the cities into their destinations, we had to change our deployment to those destinations. But we also continued the issues of activations at taxi ranks, bus depots as well. But we also emphasized cross-border movement. We also did interventions at cross-border level as well. What in terms of our deployment, the NTP deployment was deployed across the provinces to ensure that we provide support to the different provinces, and that we ensure that the routes that needed to be covered were fully covered. We use the data that we have to direct us on the best deployment method we used, and the deployment method was 24/7 for our NTP, and the different shifts system, where in the provinces will look after routes during the day, NTP at night, so that there's proper sharing of resourcing. What was the communication approach? We also had a communication approach that looked at integrated media engagement, which is the interviews that you will note that the ministers undertook, the MECs themselves as well. It did a lot of communications within their respective provinces and the municipalities. But we also utilized social media as a way to communicate the road safety. We also looked at issues of commercials as well, radio that we used, and that in itself helped us in sharing the message of road safety. The minister did already allude to the part that there was weekly monitoring that was taking place, but it was not only at a political level, but there are also structures that exist to assist us in the coordination of our work, which is our National Road Safety Steering Committee and its technical committees. But we also had the NATRAF job that was in place in order to coordinate any incidents, in order to keep up with the performance and collating of information. But we also have a national center that we're managing at the time. With that, Chairperson, we are moving to our performance for a period. As indicated, overall, we had a reduction of 5% for the period. The provinces that recorded an increase in fatal crashes was Gauteng, Western Cape, and Mpumalanga. And the 4 provinces that recorded an increase was Gauteng, Western Cape, Mpumalanga, and Northern Cape. We saw a reduction in some of our provinces, in particular Free State, as well as the Eastern Cape. Where we saw the highest percentage increase was in Western Cape and in Mpumalanga, and most of those were caused by major crashes, which we'll touch as we go through the presentation. We also did an analysis just to give members which of the provinces had the in terms of the increase in crashes fatalities. You will note that Gauteng, KZN, Eastern Cape, Western Cape, and Mpumalanga continue to contribute 75% of our crashes and 73% to fatalities. And then in terms of the statistics, what we've recorded for the 2025-2026, the number of crashes we recorded was 1,172. which the number of fatalities being 1,427. And then when we looked at the distribution in terms of when per week of the festive season, we experienced the highest crashes and fatalities. We experienced it in week 3 and 4, which is the week between the 15th and the 28th of December. And these 2 weeks contributed 43% to crashes and 44% to our fatalities. What were our top districts that were highly affected by crashes and fatalities? It was City of Cape Town, City of Johannesburg, eThekwini, Ngangala, as well as City of Tshwane. Hence, we did indicate in the beginning that our deployment had to shift from highways, but into build-up areas in terms of to ensure that we are able to respond to these changes. Who are the most impacted in terms of our road user group? Pedestrians. Pedestrians do remain the most vulnerable road user group, and the emphasis from the discussions that we've had is that as a sector, we need to develop a pedestrian safety program that will deal in terms of how we address the challenges that we are faced with, because not only is it limited to education, but there's issue of enforcement, but the infrastructure around the movement of people. So that is one of the key takeaways that will be focused on. The day of the week, we remain the weekends, your Saturdays and Sundays, into early hours of Monday morning. And the time of day in which the most of the crashes took place was between 7 and 9 p.m. in the evening. What were the key crash types that we had? Accidents with pedestrians, already that shows from performance in the road user most impacted. We had hit and run, single vehicle overturn, and head-on collisions. Vehicles, we also included which vehicles were most experiencing within the fatal crashes, which became our motor cars or station wagons that were most that were highest vehicles that were involved in crashes during this period. Chairperson, we are now moving into our major crashes that took place for the period during the 2025-2026. You'll note that we recorded 17 major crashes for the period, and that resulted in 112 people fatalities during that period. And even though we acknowledge that we had a lower number versus the previous period, there's still a big concern in terms of the major crashes that took place, but more so the severity there too, because of speeding and drunken driving. You will note that we've also included just the analysis of us in terms of which major crashes, which provinces, and KZN had the highest with 6 major crashes for the period, and then followed by Eastern Cape, and then its other respective provinces that had major crashes. So KZN and Eastern Cape, and then those are the ones where we are showing where the major crashes were for this period. Okay. Then in terms of the major crashes, which routes were impacted, we did a summary in terms of the routes that, and this will also take away from the previous financial periods. So in terms of the routes that we saw that there was a repeat in major crashes was the N2 in KZN and N1 in Limpopo. And we must say that all other major crashes did occur in different routes than those that were recorded in the previous period. That is it, Chairperson, in terms of the statistics and our road crash performance. We will simply move to our law enforcement performance just to show that we had developed a plan that we wanted to execute during the period, and we were able to execute 96% of that plan. Some of the plans wherein or activities that were not executed will either be due to operational issues or but more so as well the rainfall, wherein the rains would have made it difficult for them to be executed. And then we also looked at, in terms of our traffic volumes for the period that were impacting us during that time, we saw that N1 recorded the highest traffic volumes during that time. So in summarizing the law enforcement performance, we had a significant increase in vehicles stopped and checked from the previous period. We also more unroadworthy vehicles were discontinued, and therefore we did see a decrease in the number of vehicles impounded. But we also saw an increase in drunken driving arrests, as there was a huge emphasis on drunken driving activities and to make sure that we remove those on the roads who are driving drunk. Then in terms of this, from a performance perspective, Limpopo had the highest number of increase in terms of vehicles stopped and checked. And the highest increase in the number of vehicles discontinued was our National Traffic Police. And Mpumalanga had the highest number of vehicles impounded. What were the most offenses that we had recorded during this period? It was excessive speed, does remain a big problem. And again, as they say, the higher the speed, does increase the severity of the crash itself. We also saw that the importance of education and enforcement remained critical during this time. Then we also went further to look at in terms of a comparative analysis on the number of arrests. And you will see that in terms of the drug and driving, as indicated, we had the highest arrest in that area. But we also kept statistics in terms of bribery cases. For the period, we had 89 bribery cases that we recorded, and 72 of those were reported by the National Traffic Police. And the highest speed that was recorded for the period was 222 kilometers per hour on a 120 kilometer zone. And then an alcohol was 3.47 milligrams that we recorded. Then we did execute our road safety educational awareness campaigns in the different areas, from bus taxis to looking at school level at the beginning of the process. But then also we moved some of the activities into interfaith in our churches, and the promotions that we held on the roadsides, but also in terms of radio talks that took place for the period. So this also covers the performance for our road safety education across the 9 provinces. With that, Chairperson, what were the key takeaways in terms of this period as we did our own analysis? There is a rising crash severity that we are picking up. We are also seeing that there is a persistent pedestrian vulnerability. More and more of our pedestrians are the ones that are being most hit on our roads. And this, as I said, speaks to about our issues in terms of movement of people and our special planning to make sure that people can move freely, and also the movements within our highways, wherein there is mushrooming new developments and people trying to jump between those. So that in itself is starting to create a difficulty in terms of managing pedestrians, and as well as ensuring that they are safe on the road. Then we also looked at the issues around the linkages between our educational efforts and outcomes, that we need to have a more emphasis on our education and awareness in the beginning throughout the year, so that we raise awareness among road users of the risky behaviors on the road that are increasing road crashes. But what was the strength? Because not only everything, there were strong enforcement coverage. Emphasis was on strong enforcement coverage. We still, as a sector, driving for 24/7 implementation, especially at critical routes wherein most of the crashes are taking place. That way, we believe that it will assist in reduction of our fatal crashes. Improve detection and oversight, and this is more around the issues of ensuring that we're monitoring the routes, and as things emerged, we're able to change our enforcement, or we're able to change our educational programs to make sure that they are precise to the point in terms of the issues that are emerging, which will speak to as well to the identification of high-risk provinces for the period. And you see that as we did our deployment, we will have looked at more deployment in those where we know there are high-risk factors, so that we cover as much of those routes as possible. What are the threats that we are facing? Infrastructure deterioration. A lot of the issues that are coming through is that our roads are not in a good shape, and as well as potholes, and that sometimes the crashes are being caused by people trying to avoid, and that as the climate is changing, it is also affecting the infrastructure that we have. There were floods, and that in itself as well does create problems in terms of movement of both cars and people. And then we also looked at the issue of the increase in traffic volumes, that we need to make sure that the data that we have does help us to alleviate some of these issues in terms of increasing traffic volumes and the impatient use of the road by people once the road is open. What are the opportunities we are looking at as a sector? Data-driven development, deployment. The issue of investment in IT digitization of the road traffic services is one of the key pillars of our deliverables, so that we make sure that our traffic officers have sufficient the intelligence to be at the right places at the right time, that we are also utilizing the resources properly, so that we are better off in realizing economics of scale with the limited funding that we have. Secondly, targeted pedestrian safety interventions, working with other departments, transport, education, but also those that are looking at road infrastructure to deal with issues of spatial planning, to make sure that this area there is a cross-purpose and a multi-pronged approach to dealing with this challenge. And then lastly, the opportunities we are seeing is the improvement in the integrity of our systems within enforcement, so that they are capacitated sufficiently in that area. With that, Chairperson, is the end of the presentation. Thank you very much.
Minister?
Sorry, Chair. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chair, I think that we should go straight to questions. I will request that you will release me just before 11:30, because I do have another meeting that I need to attend. But I suggest we proceed with the questions in the meantime. Thank you.
Okay, I think, yeah, noted that, Minister. I think I did receive your letter on time. I must apologize to colleagues on portfolio that when I think that confusion of me cutting with the coverage when we're starting, it made me to skip noting your apology. I must indicate to members you did write your apology on time that you're gonna be with us for 2 hours, and then we'll request us to recuse you at a time when the other meeting stop. And I think that request is granted, Honorable Minister. We can then move to honorable members to raise question and discuss. Yeah, honorable members, can I see hands? Or the report is clear? You don't want to? Honorable Blosser, Honorable Maduna, Honorable Ghana, Honorable Mbio, Honorable Malmaja, in that order.
Appears on. You can enter, Chair.
Yeah, you can enter, Honorable Maduna.
Good morning, Chair. One must greet you, the members, the minister and her team. No, thanks, Chair. We note the report. Indeed, I think everyone would have along the festive season would have seen the visibility of our law enforcement officers. That I can attest to. I'm from that side of KZN. In each and every road that you drove at, it was for the first time actually seeing RMTC traffic cops in my small town, in my small town.
We call it RTMC, Honorable Maduna.
Yes, RTMC. I'm sorry, Chair. RTMC there in the Mzumkulu. So they were visible. That I can attest to, making sure that the gains that they would have had over the festive season, we sustain them throughout the year. One life lost is like one life too many. I think, Chair, that's that. But their visibility indeed was there during the entire festive season. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. In that order, colleagues.
No, thanks, Chair. Yeah, no, thanks, Chair. Look, Chair, I also might not have a question, but comments on my side. For me, Chair, I'm really not impressed with the work that we are doing as government to protect the lives of our people on the road. Really, the 5% decrease is just us being semantic with numbers. There's still an extremely high levels of deaths on our road. And the visibility of law enforcement agencies on our road is uneven. And clearly, where you see visibility, you see decreases. You know, Honorable Maduna is correct about KZN. I think there was an effort that was put in KZN, and the numbers show that there was an effort that was put. But across the country, it seems as if the same effort that was given to KZN, it was not given anywhere else. Hence, we are where we at. But also, we seem to lose the plots because it's like we become visible on the roads for compliance, and then later on we are unable to maintain that standard. I think, Chair, yourself, during the first week of the festive season, you released a statement because the numbers on the roads were extremely high. You were already concerned in the first week of the season, and we saw a statement from you through Parliament raising these concerns that our people are really dying on the road, and we've only just started the festive season, and we've seen this trend. And there are a number of reasons. We cannot every year come and report that driver behavior is a problem on the roads. Why is driver behavior a problem on the road? Because law enforcement agencies are not there. People get into accidents and then we find out that a taxi driver has been driving without the correct documentation for 3 to 5 years. How come is that person driving without the correct documentation for 5 years? It means he has never encountered law enforcement agencies in that period. Hence, he doesn't even see the need to go and rectify his documents. People are driving without PDPs, they're driving without driver's licenses because they know that there are no law enforcement agencies on the road. And when these people get into such accidents, then we come and react to say, no, driver behavior, this and that. Why are people still driving comfortably drunk on the road, Chair? Precisely because the fact they know that if I go and drink in this particular area and I drive home, I'm not going to see a law enforcement agency. So this is the problem that we have. Even those who encounter law enforcement agencies, you see the many trucks on the road with tires that are not supposed to be on the road. They meet law enforcement agencies, and we've raised this issue of cold drink, and it always as if we are being petty or we are joking about it. That law enforcement agencies on the road enable bad driver behaviors. Because people know a person will leave home and say, I don't have the right documentation. My car is not in good condition to be in the road. But listen, let me go and withdraw some money. When I meet law enforcement agencies, this is what I'm going to do, and I will reach my destination. And they do. And once there are then road accidents which leads to the death of our people, then we all pretend to be shocked. We were on oversight, Chair. We went, while we were on oversight, this is now after the festive, and I'm sure those reports are still not even here. We were in oversight, we went and saw a fatal road accident in KZN. We looked at that truck that was on that road. We realized that truck was not supposed to be on that road. That taxi itself was overloaded. Why are people still comfortable to do those things on the road? I think, Chair, personally, we are losing the battle. And every year we just come and make plans for the sake of compliance and to report in Parliament. We don't execute those plans. We come back and give reasons why these plans didn't work and why this didn't work. And our people continue to keep dying. We were in oversight as portfolio committee. We went to RTMC. They told us that they have a plan in the next 5 years to reduce road fatalities and road deaths by 50%. I asked them that if you look at the yearly trends, is this plan of reducing road fatalities by 50% by this time, are you meeting yearly targets in that reduction? They could not answer us. And clearly here you can see that that trend on a yearly basis is not there. So by the time the 5-year period that they have planned for themselves reaches, they would not have achieved that target. So it's really problematic, Chair, that we'll come here as government and just report on cosmetic issues for compliance and to report numbers and we all go home. But our people continue to die on the roads as if there's nothing. Now the Easter weekend is going to come. We are going to get a plan for Easter weekend. We're going to come after Easter weekend. Again, same thing. When does it end, Chairperson? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Blossom. Honorable Ghana.
Thank you very much, Chair. And greetings to you, greetings to the minister. and the honorable members, RTMC and the department. So let me start with the appreciation. So today we are meeting is the 3rd of February. The statistics that we are receiving covers the period up until the 11th of January, which is 3 weeks from today going backwards. So what it tells me, so that's good that we receive the statistics for festive season timeously. What that tells me is that where there is willingness to compile the statistics and ensure that as the committee we receive the statistics timeously, they can be done. I then go to the next point. So that this time last year, I had said, Chair, that if we want to win this particular battle in terms of reducing the number of deaths on our roads, it does assist greatly that we have regular statistics. It should not be that so we will get statistics for Easter, and the next thing we'll get statistics for festive season. It should not be. I think we need to get a lot more regular so that we know whether our interventions are working or they are not working. So that's the first thing, because what this has demonstrated is that after the 11th, the team started working on the statistics, and the statistics were released literally less than 14 days thereafter. Minister, if we can do this on a monthly basis, I think it will assist for us to see whether our interventions are working. So that's the first thing. The second thing, which Minister I agree with, insofar as driver behavior, that is at the center of what we need to do insofar as reducing the death on our roads. So the driver behavior is critical, and regular to the point that Honorable Blossom and Maduna raises, is that where obviously there will always be drivers that like taking chances. But if we accept that there will be those ones, then visibility comes into place. What you see immediately after the festive period is that the visibility disappears and is just sporadic roadblocks here and there. And if you were to check the period after the intense festive season, so if you were to do the statistics and you say from the 12th of January up until the 30th of January, what happened on our roads, you'll see that, yes, maybe the numbers are not as concentrated as you will have between the 22nd and the 28th of January, but there's too many accidents that are happening on our roads and too many deaths that are happening on our roads after the 11th and the end of January, and the same will happen in the next month. So the moment we switch off, because people know they are used to it, that at some point there's going to be a switch off. The moment we switch off, that's when we start seeing all this behavior, because at that particular time, the road safety campaigns are not on the go. They are not campaigns on radio, on television, and the likes, and that's where you start seeing all these issues. What has brought the sharp focus this year, obviously, and may the soul of the learners that passed away in Vanderbijl Park continue to rest in peace, is that particular accident. That now it start telling us that we need an always on visibility, 365 days a year, that an always on campaign, not a campaign that switches on and off, festive season, off, on, and then off after that, on again, Easter, and so forth. If we are to change driver behavior, this awareness campaign needs to run 365 days. And I will be interested to get to understanding, even in terms of the awareness side. The numbers there are not so encouraging when one considers that when you go into more like your radio and stuff in your concentrated provinces, there was not a lot happening there. So the bigger story of this statistics, it's the number of pedestrians that we are of South Africans who are pedestrians, or people who are in South Africa who are pedestrians who lose their lives. That is greater than any other category. We are losing far too many pedestrians. So what that tells me is that it's not only from a driver side of things that the awareness needs to go to, because if the data tells you that it is pedestrians in the significant number that are losing their lives, and it might very well be it's a combination, because if it's a pedestrian is hit by a car, then there are two actors there. There's a pedestrian and there's a driver of a car, and you might find that maybe in some of the instances, and that's where further analysis needs to happen, even when these statistics are presented, to say, in these accidents that involve pedestrians, where the drivers of the cars in the wrong, one, were they drunk at the time of the accident? Was the pedestrian, I don't know, but science can allow us to get this particular data, because it's critical to say what kind of pedestrians, or what is the category of pedestrians that are losing their lives. Are they pedestrians coming from drinking sports? Are they pedestrians that were coming from shopping during the day? They crossed where they were not supposed to cross. The car did not stop, so that we can be able to introduce proper interventions in that regard. So the pedestrian aspect becomes critical, because the numbers tell you that a lot more pedestrians are losing their lives than drivers, than passengers. That's what the statistics reveal. But you see, if there's one statistic that is missing or omitted, whether it's missing by omission or it's not being collected, it's actually the number of crashes, not fatal crashes. So fatal crashes, they are reported. But the number of crashes that no one died, but there might very well be injuries. So the crashes where there's no fatality, but there are injured passengers. Crashes where there's no fatality and there's no one injured. Why is that important? Important, that information. Why is it important? It starts telling you, all right, with this number of crashes, which might not result in death, but they result in injuries and so forth, what is the capacity of the road accident fund to be able to take care of that? Because the two are related. The road accident fund deals with the accident. So if we are not reporting to say, in this particular period, these are how many accidents happened. These are how many accidents where there were injured passengers. These are the ones that you are reporting, insofar as this one is concerned. It's the accidents where there are fatalities. That one you report. But accidents where there are no fatalities, you are not reporting. but you will find that there's a significantly more accidents that lead to injuries that happen than those ones that lead to fatalities. And I think that is a critical statistic that needs to be reported on, because it will start telling us that whether the cars on the roads are becoming safer or not. Because when car manufacturers are selling their vehicles, they will then say that no, this one has got these safety features, that safety features, that even if it gets into an accident, then it reduces the possibility of death or serious injuries. We need to start checking those things up, because at the moment we are not tracking that. There's nowhere where we are tracking to say these are the accidents, they are happening. Here there were no injuries. Here there were injuries, and then combine the injuries and the death that you do report on. Then you say, all right, what is the capacity of the road accident fund to then deal with this? So to close it, Chair, the aspect of awareness, because even if you check insofar as the spend on the awareness, I'm just going to that slide, Chair. You see that the spend in for radio, it's quite minimal. It's quite minimal. So there are things that we can be able to build on. So take for instance, this is the education and awareness. So it says radio talk. I don't know. I'll presume that it's radio talk. There's nothing done in the Eastern Cape, Free State, Gauteng, KZN. The only province where something is done is in Limpopo. That's the only province that something is being done. And if you start looking at some of this awareness, then you start realizing that no, maybe we are not targeting some of our messaging correctly, when you consider that a significant number of people that pass away on our roads are actually pedestrians. So these are the issues that I want to raise, Chair, to say that regular statistics on a monthly, if that is not possible, at least every second month, there should be a full-on statistics, 365-day visibility, 365-day awareness with the proper awareness campaigns on radio and TV, social media, and the likes that are happening, but also include the number of accidents that take place. Because what frustrates a lot of motorists and just generally the people that go to work every morning, it's this, and Honorable Maduna was telling me about, I think it's Peter Brown or Brown Peter, that stretch of road between Hilton and Pietermaritzburg. That's, I think it's Peter Brown, Honorable Maduna. If I'm wrong, you'll correct me. So there are things that frustrates other motorists, jackknife trucks on Gilolis every second day. But these are the things that we are not reporting on. And I think if we start reporting on, we will it will start giving us a picture whether we are closer to winning this particular battle or not. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thanks very much, Ghana, and thanks for the progressive input. In that order, I'm not sure, Honorable Bio, if you want to come in, but if not, I'll request Honorable Malmaja to come in. Honorable Malmaja, you can come in.
No, thanks, Chair. Let me start by saying I did not hear you when we opened the meeting because of the network challenges you had, whether you called for the item apologies. And if indeed you did, I was supposed to render apology of Menko Bani. I don't think it's too late. I just want the House to note that apology. Chair, we get these statistics. I don't want to repeat what that has been said. As a guide that tells us that around certain time of the year, we go all out. Maybe it's because history has taught us that around that particular certain time of the year, there's this that we need to keep. But I can tell you, number of aspects have been raised, including the visibility. Visibility of the RTMC and others, in terms of these statistics, does not necessarily translate to good result of what we wanted to achieve, if not an objective. This can be realized where you find that there were high visibility of the law enforcement, but the very same target sectors that we wanted to target, but they still prevail. The question is, do we really have a strategy to deal with the following? Because if we don't have a strategy, they will be there, catch these people and leave them. For an example, if we are to zoom on what came from the report, the highest speed driver was trouble through. What is it that has happened to that particular person? To set example, we don't have a problem of people buying good machine, but we have a problem if you exceed 120. Then here is a person who who doubled the speed. What is it that has happened, to set an example so that people can know that no matter how big is your machine, if you double the speed, you are going to be sentenced to so many years, so that people can be afraid, can fear the law. The issue of overload, we have too much visibility, but you find that in the end of Polokwane, there is this car with so many people, and at that particular time, there's an accident. Then this car, it started from Park Station, it drove that side. Then the visibility, does that visibility still translate to what we want to achieve? Now, one honorable mentioned the issue of cold drinks. At what point, Minister and the team, do we consider applying surveillance lines so that at the end of the day, if the very same toll road, it has got cameras throughout that can assist? And we think that maybe can be a solution to this, because this visibility, I agree with, they were there. They were scaring those that I think they don't have enough, but those who have got enough, they still pass with the overload. And I'm not saying visibility must be reduced, but I'm saying visibility must translate to result that at the end of the day, a roadworthy car has proceeded from one province to one province, and it is not noticed until there's an accident, then the visibility is still questionable. Now, when I opened, I was saying it's like the visibility target one section of the year, which is the festive season. Trying to come closer to somebody who mentioned what happened from the 12th of January come this side. I'm saying if we need to really have this without targeting certain part of the year, it will need us to go and rethink the strategy so that in South Africa, it becomes a known cause that driving more than 120 on this road is so many years non-negotiable, no fine. Not having such load, you are going to lose the car or the license permanently. If we don't instill this, we are going to target that festive season come January. This will be the response. People will know that the high visibility of the law enforcement in a form of RTMC and others is no longer on the road. Then you will have the Sibuken 14. You will have your case at N11. We were there doing the oversight. When we visit the scene, what surprises us, what made us to become judgmental, though we are not trained in that particular sector, all of us, we agreed, including the MEC, that the tires that were in that particular transport truck, for that particular matter, heavy truck, were not supposed to be on the road. The question is, where is law enforcement throughout the year, throughout the month, throughout the day? And if you check, they have passed all these people, but nothing has happened. So this will keep happening, where you'll find that we lose plus minus 6 family members in the Eastern Cape. And if you go there, the driver might not be having a license, but he has driven throughout. So the issue of visibility, let it translate to result. And the only way to translate to result, it needs to be backed up by the lights of the surveillance camera so that it assists. Other than that, what Honorable Ghana is proposing, if is too much, one will say let it be at least 4 times a year in a form of quarter basis. We will need to have this so to assist. Assisting will be coming in a form of intervention. We shall have monitored this. We will need to intervene so that when we do our evaluation, we're able to say this is the remedy that we think it has happened. Because if we don't do this, we will all of us come and blame, come and read the statistics, which is not what we are necessarily tasked to do. What we are tasked to do is to prevent life loss. With those, I will submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Malmacha. Thanks very much. I'm not sure, Honorable Minister, if you are still on the platform.
No, yeah, no.
Chair, I'm still on the platform. Let's give the team first bite and then I will make some concluding remarks.
Okay, if you can come, if they can come in, it's fine.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. It is clear that there are issues that we need to deal with. What is key that was raised was visibility awareness. The team will speak to that. But the main issue remain a driver pedestrian behavior in our roads. And it is clear that the country needs a year-round campaign to educate people on the importance of road safety. We need even now to start intensifying our message for the Easter period, which presents similar trends on as the festive season year in, year out. But I will hand over to the team to comment or respond to some of the questions that honorable members have posed. Thanks. CEO.
Thank you, Chair.
In that order, yes.
Thank you, Chair of the committee. Thank you, Chair of the board for and the Minister for the opportunity. Firstly, we would like to welcome the comments because we only are able to learn and improve based on the comments that we receive from honorable members. We'll try to cover some and maybe the team members would assist on others. Honorable Maduna, we appreciate your comment about the visibility. Indeed, within the confines of the limited resources we have, we did try the best we could to deploy in the different provinces, as the slides do indicate. However, we also tried, in order to also address the point raised by Honorable Glose, we also tried to follow the intelligence reporting that we got within the same province, but to shift our resources to areas that would have been informed are becoming problematic as and when it would happen. Some of the information would be presented at the meetings that the minister referred to, which were twice a day. And then there will be a shift in the plan, and then we'll move resources in the areas that would have been identified as problematic. And indeed, we tried also to juggle around the limited resources of the authority in that province to cover certain times, and the NTP would then cover different times. And that doesn't make it an ideal space, but that we do really stretch the resources to the best of our ability. And in that regard, we do accept the point made by Honorable Maduna, as well as the point raised by Honorable Blose, because we couldn't have been able to do all the places at the same time, but we tried to shift to the areas that required a need at that time. And indeed, Honorable Blose, the 5%, the minister said it, the chairperson of the meeting, of the portfolio committee said it, can never be enough. One death is one death too many. And indeed, we need to do more in order to reduce. The good thing, though, is that we have identified, as the statistics do point out, that more than 44% of the fatalities take place among the pedestrians, which is information again that was picked up as we were presenting, is the information also that we picked up as we were planning, and more of that became more visible as we were monitoring at the time of implementation, which is why part of the report indicates that we had to now move closer to the built-up areas, because after the long drives and all of that, then you started picking up major events, your pens down, immediately, and certain festivities in the built-up areas, which is why then our deployment started to go in that direction. Could we have done more? I believe so, but it's a good start, and of course within the constraints of our resources, I believe we can still do a lot more using statistical information and intelligence gathering, that we try to address those areas even more. Well, of course, the issue of bribery does affect generally our efforts, and that is why we're beginning again in our report to give indication, not just to the portfolio committee, but also within our own structures, law enforcement structures at local, provincial, and at national level, to indicate that there are bribery cases that are being reported, but we're not getting enough reports to be able to cap the problem. But the reporting about it, indicating that people must report, encouraging them to report, we will be able to discourage even those among us who are still bad apples. I take the point around, I've already made a point around the pedestrian fatalities. If we can reduce that, and we're trying the best we can, we have met with our counterparts even after the 15th of January at the direction of the minister. We are beginning to sit down, not just ourselves as law enforcement, but Department of Education as well. We have been brought together again with RAF, and we thank the minister for this wisdom, that we are the sides of the same hand. And we are beginning to bring our heads together, but also our resources together, to be able to expand our efforts, particularly around road safety education, because the more we speak to the people, we believe we can be able to cover a lot more than just enforcement alone. I do take the point again that we need to increase our radio footprint. I'm certain that bringing together the resources that we have will be able to, in terms of our plans, because maybe we are doing this too early. We have again, after putting to a stop the process that we were doing around Festive, we have started the program again, led by the minister, to coordinate all the law enforcement agencies within the traffic fraternity to focus on learner transport, and we're doing that on a quarterly basis, and that is on top of the normal law enforcement that we're doing. I think our coordinated efforts are beginning to come together, and we are hoping that in doing this throughout the year, we'll be able to give to yield better results. And I'm certain that Honorable Malumacha, the reporting of maybe on a quarterly basis may be feasible, because we have now started again, having seen the items that you are also identifying. We are beginning to agree that let us do more, not just on learner transport, but also on the other areas, so that we can have quarterly reports going to the ministry. And I'm certain that that can be also given to the portfolio committee as well. And that addresses the question of us going all out at certain times. We are now trying to, in fact, the coordination, although different authorities do operate throughout the year, it's only the coordinated effort that assists us with intelligence information has only been focused during what we refer to as festive seasons. But we are agreeing now, and the minister has given us this direction that let us continue now throughout the year, so that we convert this into a 365 a day visibility on our roads. Well, the people that we catch on our roads, like the speedsters and all of them, unfortunately, as things stand, we hand them over to the courts, and beyond that, we can only be called in to give evidence, and more often than not, it is up to the courts to then determine what happens beyond that. I do take the point around the surveillance cameras. I think we need to have a look at that. Look at our at some of the issues that we have raised with at the stopping of the countries. There was a talk up around losing that for that. Well, of course, resources are allowing, and also as we're beginning to talk, I'm certain that some of that we will be able to come through. That brings together also the issue of the average speed. Maybe because we cannot be at every point we need to be in terms of visibility. Maybe the determination of average speed could raise consciousness among the drivers that even though there may be no traffic officer here, but if I get caught down the road, average speed will be calculated and I may get into trouble. But having said all of this, Chair, we accept really that the improvement is encouraging. That it is improving from previous years. However, we do accept that there's too many people that still down our road, and we are identifying areas that we need to focus on. And as I've indicated, we have started to bring together the resources that we have, so that we can make better impact than we've been doing. May I return then if other members from the team can make contributions, but we can go back to you, Chair, and the Minister. Thank you.
Any addition?
Chair?
Maduna?
Just a quick question before the minister, just direct question before the minister wraps.
Yeah.
I just want to check, Chair. I see that we are still having an acting CEO. I believe the CEO is still suspended. I just want to check how long do we expect the investigations that they were busy with to be concluded, seeing that the board is here as well. Because I don't think that we can suspend for a long time. Thank you, Chair.
You refer to Mr. Msibi's suspension. Duna?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm asking about that. The CEO, if is this, I assume is still suspended. I think I would have heard that there's an acting CEO. I'm just checking for how long will that be, and what is the current status of the investigation. Thank you.
Okay, I think the minister will come on that. It is true that it has taken time. Maybe if the minister can take us and update us in as far as that suspension is concerned, how far is the process? Honorable Minister, you will obviously come in now, but maybe before you come in, what I would want you and probably the team, if they want to say something about it, is One of the major causes of the road is these pedestrians, the loitering on the road. I think that number is also seemingly going up. You may want to say something about it. I've heard your proposals, Honorable Minister, when you were speaking, launching about the possibility of zero alcohol drinking for the drivers. You may also want to reflect on that. What is your intention? You had said on the media that you may want to introduce the bill, and to which we have responded by saying we may support or we will be able to support that particular bill. So you may also want to take us into confidence or into process as to what is the process, what are you intending to do in relation to that. The fact is, the more visibility, the reduction in the number of accidents, and we have seen now the movement now moving from our national roads to tributary roads, because when you have more deployment on the national roads, people running away from that, they use tributary roads, and that's where we now start to have accidents. You may also want to share with us what are the plans, what you intend, and so forth. If I can allow you to come in, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chair, I want to suggest that we'll respond in writing to the question of the date when we hope to get the report from the independent investigators with regard to the matter of the CEO of RTMC. Because I think the simple answer is we really can't deal with this matter until we get the report, and we are facing some difficulties with the service provider extending dates. So let's respond to that question in writing and not speculate in this meeting. Chair, I think that I really want to concur with the frustrations that have been raised by many honourable members in this meeting with regard to the uneven rollout of enforcement action. And I think you would have heard from the input by the acting CEO that one of the complexities, and from my initial comments, one of the complexities we are dealing with here is that not all of these law enforcement agencies are not subject to our direct control. And therefore, we are needing to exercise a great deal of persuasion, but also to exercise a great deal of coordination. And this is really what we are trying to do. I think that what we fully recognize is that very often law enforcement focuses on two issues at local government level. The one is revenue collection, and the other is speeding with the purpose of ensuring revenue collection. And we do understand the role that traffic fines play in municipal revenue collection. But we are also of the view that the evidence before us suggests that we have to do much, much more than just focus on those issues. I think many honourable members have spoken about the issue of pedestrians. And a fundamental issue we have to confront is that the reasons why pedestrians cross busy roads and highways in an unsafe manner is not a one-size-fits-all reason. I was in a particular area in Northwest when we were doing work on scholar transport buses. And at that particular weighbridge, that stretch of the road is notorious for accidents with pedestrians, and there are informal settlements on both sides of the road. Not a large settlement, but there is also a pedestrian bridge. So I was asking the control office, why is it that pedestrians don't use the bridge? And I was told it's because pedestrians are subject to criminal activity on that bridge. Now, that means that we can incentivize pedestrians to use an existing safe infrastructure that has been provided for them if we ensure that they are safe when they cross the bridge. So I think that it's that kind of micro understanding of the factors that are causing pedestrians to be on highways and to cross highways is enormously important. And it's very difficult at national level to be doing all of that micro work. But given the fact that we do have statistics on where most of these accidents are occurring, we can then direct local government to be much more engaged in those particular kinds of activities. But it would help enormously if the portfolio committee were to call the cities that we listed where the highest number of pedestrian deaths occur, and ask those cities, what are you doing about it? You see, I think that public oversight and public accountability is also a significant factor in improving enforcement. And we really would want to beg the portfolio committee to come to the party in that regard. And any other work that the portfolio could do in the course of its oversight functions to assist us in getting local government, particularly in metros, because the majority of your road accidents and also your pedestrian accidents are happening in the metros. So I think that I always try to look at the 80-20 principle, and I think that if the portfolio committee could assist us in also interrogating that issue, it would be enormously useful. The issue of annual annual statistics. We did release the annual statistics, Honorable Ghana, and those were publicly released. So it's not just Christmas and Easter. We also released the annual statistics when we announced the festive season outcome. I think that all of the accidents would probably be in the domain of the local governments, and I suppose we would also need to be encouraging them to be collecting all of those statistics. Honourable members, we want to amend Section 65 of the Road Traffic Management Act that would reduce the amount of alcohol that can be consumed legally. Honourable Chair, when I did my research on this matter, I did find that this matter had become before a previous portfolio committee and had not reached fruition, but there were a range of other amendments in that draft bill, which would also have tightened up on various aspects of law enforcement. And I think that we are currently looking at that, and I think that we would want to be in a position in the not too distant future to brief the portfolio committee as to whether we would want to bring the entire amendment bill back to the National Assembly for your consideration. We are just trying to understand what were all aspects of that bill and what were all the reasons why that bill did not proceed after the public hearing or public participation stage at the National Assembly. We also want to tighten up on the regulations pertaining to scholar transport. And I think that that should see over a period of time that scholar transport drivers should be having advanced driver training, because they are carrying very precious cargo, and there needs to be a consciousness of that. We also want to make sure that all provinces have a dedicated register of scholar transport vehicles. And of course, we want to work with education and transport and safety departments in provinces to assist us in monitoring the safety of those particular vehicles. I think the point that has been made by Honourable Ghana about better targeted radio messaging is very helpful. And I think we would definitely want to be looking into that, because if we are not reaching our communities with our messages, then obviously we're not doing our job properly. So that is really where I would want to pause for today, Chair. But I welcome the comments by the honourable members. I think that the road accident death toll is a cause for national shame, and I think it's something that each and every one of us has to focus on if we are going to achieve the targets that we've set for ourselves by 2029. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. We appreciate your responses, and together with the team, I think our task is cut on what needs to be done. You would have noted the concerns raised by honorable members, and I think we need to still commend the work that has been done, because to the extent that we got that reduction of 5%, it did not come from honorable members. It came out of the effort and the sweat of especially our peace officers who are on the roads, who spend sleepless nights to ensure that we save our people. But also we must also commend you, honorable members, who have also, and other members of parliament who went also all out, our councillors, everyone, who heed our call when we requested everyone to come on board and assist, who really came on board and then traveled the journey with us throughout the festive. Visibility was also helpful. But of course, we note the point you are raising, Honorable Minister, that some of the peace officers do not fall within your jurisdiction, and perhaps at a particular time, as a portfolio, we may want, because you may not be able to summon them as we may, perhaps we may also desire at a particular point ourselves to interface with them. It's a point that we note and will really consider. And I think for now, we should then be able to release you. But before maybe I release you, related to this, Honorable Minister, I don't know whether I'll be able to respond to it now, because it was a question I wanted to pose before I release you. Is the RTO regulations suspension, when are you likely to rework on them? What is the story? Just a quick response on that one, because every time we get this particular question from the side of the media, and we don't know what is the actual standing now. If you could say something on it before we release you on this aspect.
Honourable Selemolela, we postponed implementation of RTO for 6 months because the municipality said they weren't ready. I have asked the Road Traffic Management Corporation to do an assessment of the state of readiness of the municipalities, and obviously that is something that they are currently seized with. So that is what I can report at this stage.
No, thanks very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Ghana, is that the legacy and Ursenyu?
It's a new hand, Chair. Just a small one, Minister. So when I asked about statistics, it was not the annual statistics that I'm advocating they get released. I'm advocating for monthly and bi-monthly or bi-monthly so that we can see whether the interventions are working. So the annual ones we get, but they are still not covering the aspect that I raised around the actual number of crashes and the people that will have been injured in the accidents. We are not reporting on them. Thanks.
No, what I was, through you, Chair, what I was explaining, Honorable Ghana, is that we may not have that information. That information may be with municipalities on the number of crashes and the number of people injured. So we hear you. We need to look into this matter.
Okay. Noted. Noted. I think, honorable members, we flag Valerie the program there, and honorable members, I think we can release on this aspect with the notes we have made. We can release the honorable the minister and the team, unless Valerie just screen quickly there. Yeah. Where are we, Valerie? What are you? I wanted the agenda, Valerie.
May we be excused, Chair?
Yeah, I wanted to excuse you formally from there. Valerie, display that the honorable minister and the team allow us to formally release you. And thanks for appearing before us and giving us the update that you obviously have given us. Would be able to interface with you in a short while on other issues pertaining to the department. Once again, we wish you words of courage as you continue this work of road safety, and extend once again our appreciation to your team that is working on the ground and to everyone who's involved in the road safety matters. Continue doing the work. We know that it is not in vain. And thanks very much. You are officially released from this platform.
Thank you, Chair.
Colleagues, there we are. In terms of the program, we're going to deal with consideration and adoption of the draft 2026 Committee First Term Program. Honorable members, I think you have been favored with this copy.
The draft program was distributed to members with a copy of the draft program for the ASAP interviews. So starting from next week, Chair, there is a meeting with the Road Accident Fund that was postponed from last year. And then in terms of this draft that must still get members' input, Chair, we have placed the petitions on the 17th. The ASAP interviews, interviews are set for Friday the 20th, Saturday the 21st of February. Members will notice that those meetings are full-day in-person meetings at Parliament on the Friday and at a venue near Parliament on the Saturday. The program Chair for these interviews were sent to members where the 9 candidates will be called in alphabetical order. Yes, Chair. And then from the 3rd, there was the proposal to call the cities on the implementation of the IPTNG, but I've noted comments from yourself and members last week that there may be a review in terms of that to call the minister first after the input last week. Chair, then the interviews for the candidates for the Transport Economic Council has been scheduled in terms of this program from Friday the 6th until Sunday 8 March. Also for the interviews, because Chair, in terms of the proposal from Advocate Nell, there are 90 minutes set aside for each candidate for both the ASAP as well as TC. So since there are more candidates there, it will necessitate an extra days for interviews on the weekend, Chair. And then onwards from 10th March, more meetings with the cities. Chair, there's a provisional date for the briefing on the SAA annual report, if it's been tabled by that time. If not, there will be space in the program for other agenda items. Going forward, Chair, we've also said for on the 24th of March, the adoption of the draft report on the TC interviews. That date, Chair, may have to be brought forward to immediately for the week immediately after the interview, so that report goes to the NA on time. And then, Chair, we have left a slot open for legislation because the department has indicated that there are bills that may come to Parliament. So if those bills are introduced in Parliament in this term, that the briefings can be held on those bills so that the committee can utilize the constituency period in April to publish those bills for comment. Chair, that is all for now from our side in terms of the program.
This quarter will end 31st March.
Chair, it will, around that time, constituency break starts around the 2nd of April.
Okay. I want to see the 17th. If you can go up on the 17th. 17th February. Yeah. 17th Feb. 17th February is the other week after next. Next week we are taking RAF. Okay. A meeting of this nature, we may have it, but it's fine. We'll discuss it offline. We may have to need to have this one virtual, but because we are not, it's only ourselves. But nonetheless, it's fine. Colleagues, there you are. I want your input if there is anything. For me, the program, and you would have seen it, is simple and straightforward. But if there is something that you may want us to filter in, you may raise it. Honorable Ghana.
Thanks very much, Chair. Thanks, Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, Honorable Ghana.
All right. So I'm happy with the meeting of the 10th to deal with RAF. It needs to be in person. Yeah, that choice of venue. If that's the only venue that's given, then yeah, I don't like that tiny thing. You don't do proper thing. It's too small, but the team can try to find another venue if at all possible. Maybe start with the 21st. Is there a reason why we can't use the Good Hope Center, Good Hope Chamber on the 21st? These things of hotels, man. There's just too much admin in there. We can use the the chamber
Oh,
on
which one,
Saturday,
Honorable Malmat? Honorable Ghana?
on the Saturday the 21st, instead of going to a hotel. It's not, Parliament can't tell us that the Good Hope Chamber is booked on Saturday, unless if it's booked. So we can have the sessions in Parliament.
We continue the same place.
Yeah, and then the week thereafter, I think is the 20, where we are supposed to go to Joburg, or to deal with Joburg. Tuesday the 24th. Yeah, so Tuesday the 24th. What I would prefer there, Valerie, it's for us to have a meeting on the PTNG.
Or it's Tuesday, the 3rd March, Honorable Ghana?
No. What I'm saying, Chair, I'm saying on that Tuesday, the 24th.
Yeah.
Let's have the PTNG where it is and so forth, so that when you go, so that when you go to Joburg on the 3rd, all these issues that will have picked up in Sundozi and eThekwini, which like are likely to be the same issues in Durban, Cape Town, and so forth. We ask all the questions in that particular meeting on the 24th. Then what I will then prefer, Chair, is that before the end of March, either on the 10th of March or somewhere there, we need to have a meeting with Transnet, Chair. So when we had our stretch session, we indicated in terms of the entities that are in the red and the ones that are critical. I think we can't go the entire term and we haven't interacted with an entity. So we need to have a meeting with Transnet. I know Honorable Maduna raises the issues around all these loans and all that, but we need a meeting with Transnet.
Okay.
When we did that the other day, when we did the meeting with Transnet, there were too many entities on the day that we did not focus on Transnet. We need a day with Transnet so that Transnet does not end up where RAF ended up. So I would prefer that meeting. We can shift the one on the 3rd to the following week. But in the first 2 meetings of March, let's schedule Transnet. And
Let's see what's happening on the 10th, Valerie. So sorry for disrupting your thought process. I want us.
No worries.
On the 10th.
So you see, for instance, what we could have is that we could have the Cape Town. Remember, part of what we had discussed, Chair, was to schedule some of these meetings after the sitting. So we can have, because if we are meeting with Cape Town, we can meet Cape Town after the sitting on the
I wanted to go there.
And then we meet with Transnet. We use that normal committee time to meet with Transnet. I think that will be quite helpful. We should not go the entire time and we have been met or interrogated the entities.
No, true. I fully concur. What we'll do, all in all, you are with that input, you agree with the spirit of the program, right?
Yeah, with that on the 24th, we deal with the 24th of February, we deal with the Department and Treasury on the PTNG. And then
I wanted to say that
yes.
Let's bring
and then
Treasury
on the 10th, we deal with Transnet, yes.
Yeah, let's also bring Treasury. Find a way, Valerie, of Department and Treasury, because you don't want, when we engage with transport, they say Treasury. So you must bring them into one meeting so that there are a lot of loopholes that would have picked. But also, as Honorable Ghana is saying, it will then reinforce us as we move to the as we move to the next engagement, it will then be able to enforce us, will be reinforced in terms of information. I fully agree. So all in all, any other hand? I've not seen any other hand. Alma, you want to say something?
Chair,
Yes. So Honorable Maduna.
no, chairs. So just on what you and Ghana were. No. Chair, I just want to check what you and Honorable Ghana were discussing. So on the 24th, the proposals that we bring treasury. So, but we were going to be discussing the third quarter expenditure. So it's the proposal that we discuss the third quarter expenditure and the PTNG grant. I just want to check on that.
Yeah. Yes, that's what we're suggesting. We're
Chair?
suggesting that. Yeah, we are suggesting that. Yeah, I'm coming to you, Honorable Maduna. We add treasury and department as we deal with that third quarter, the second quarter expenditure. It usually doesn't take time. If you check, we'll still have an ample time to can get a quick brief on what's happening with this grant, what is the plan as we move forward, so that when we meet with the what we call the department, the municipalities, at least we know what is the way forward, something like that, or we're empowered or reinforced in terms of information. Maduna?
No, thanks, Chair. Chair, I also wanted to, because it's important that I do register my view on the matter of Transnet. Chair, we can't ignore Transnet because the day it collapses, we will be questioned where were we. Transnet is very close to collapsing. If you look at how their financials are, I do not think these guarantees are going to make them survive for a long time. So I really appreciate the proposal that says we really need to get close to Transnet. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. So it's granted we left Transnet. What we must do is that, and I agree with the spirit, that the quarter must not start or the term must not start and end without us howling in and into it. For instance, the fact that we left matters. For instance, SAMSA, entities like SAMSA, we have not called them. We may need to find a way, and there are challenges also there. We may also need to find a way, even if you call them for a brief, like we agreed we'll have night briefings, we can then have. So you need to look into things like that, Valerie, without putting you under pressure, something like that. But all in all, we're agreeable on the program with the proposed amendments. Can I get a mover?
Okay, can I just ask something for clarity?
Yes.
What will be the agenda item number 1 for the meeting for Transnet? And number 2, in terms of the venues for these interviews, Parliament does not have services available, support services available on weekends. So we might need to have to find out from the support services if they can be available on the day to assist the committee if the meeting is in Parliament.
Okay. No, it's fine. The logistic part, I think it was just a concern, but we'll still leave it to you to handle that logistic part of the venue and all that. Relating to Transnet, we may want, we'll craft a proper, what you call, determination on what the things that we want them to come and brief on. And I think, especially the financial state of Transnet, but we'll craft it in such a way that it will reflect the stature of the meeting we want to have with them. But all in all is to want to understand the status of the situation, the financial state of health, financial health status of the entity, and the challenges that they are facing with thereof and how they are trying to resolve them. Because it's true, we don't want to wake up everyone asking us, but Transnet has now collapsed and you have not said anything, or where were you and all that. Is that fine? Honorable members, can I get a move, Honorable Ghana?
We move, Chair.
I move, I support, Chair.
Thanks very much. We're done with this one. Thanks a lot for the detailed program, Valerie, Alma, all the entire team for working on this program. Thanks very much. Next, Valerie.
Next are the minutes of 25 November, followed by the minutes of the 27th of November.
This should be very brief minutes, this ones. Okay. First set of minutes, I'll consider it at right. Just take us page to page. Page 1, anything there, colleagues? Nothing. Page 2. Can I get a mover on this one?
I move, Chair.
Second, Chair.
Honorable Ghana moves. Honorable Malmaja second. Thanks very much. Next set. Page 1. Oh, shortlisting. This was the shortlisting meeting. It was very brief also. Straightforward, this one. Down. 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 Mover 1. Honorable Malmaja.
I move, Honorable Chair.
Mover 2.
I'll support, Chair.
Supported. So the set of minutes is duly adopted.
Chair,
Yes.
I just wanted to add on that set of minutes, Chair, just for information for the members. One of the nominees had passed away last year after we did the shortlisting set. So I believe it was Dr. Skeepers. So there will be one less nominee after that that information was brought to our attention. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks very much. I think let's note it in that as part of the developments in as far as this interviews are concerned, it is noted. Thanks very much for bringing it to the fore, Advocate Nell. Thanks very much. Any other thing, Valerie?
No, Chair, that's all for today. And from our side, we will secure a bigger venue for next week, Chair. It may be an outside venue if there's no alternative available in Parliament.
No, just to say, Chair, if there's no venue outside of M201, we can use M201. I don't like us people appearing before Parliament and we take them to a hotel. No.
Yeah, no. Let's stick to if we don't have any other thing, let's stick to what we have, Valerie. Let's not incur expense on. Yeah. But thanks very much. Colleagues, compatriots, friends, countrymen and women, I really appreciate that we have arrived at the end of our meeting, that we had a progressive interaction. Thanks very much. Enjoy your day and the best of the week ahead. We will meet next week on occasion of our meeting. Enjoy the week ahead, colleagues. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Chair.